Have you ever caught yourself whispering secrets to your coffee mug, or wearing the same cozy sweater for days, just because no one's there to see? Living alone in your 60s, 70s, or beyond can feel like a quiet freedom, but it's also a sneaky trickster, weaving habits that dim your spark. I've stood in that silence, wondering when my world got so small. Today, I'm sharing a heartfelt talk about the 10 hidden traps of living solo as an older person. Not the obvious ones, but the quiet ones that steal your joy. Stick with me until the end, because these stories and lessons will remind you that your life, your home, and your heart are still brimming with possibility, ready to surprise even you. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Don't let meals become a lonely task. My dear friend Ruth, now 74, once filled her home with the warmth of Sunday dinners that were nothing short of legendary. Her dining table would practically sag under the weight of golden-crusted roasts, steaming bowls of mashed potatoes, and her famous apple pie, its cinnamon aroma wafting through the house like a hug. Friends and family gathered, their laughter mingling with the clink of forks, as Ruth beamed at the center of it all, her heart as full as the plates she served. But after her husband passed, the light in her kitchen dimmed. The pots stayed cold, the table bare. "Why go to all that trouble for just me?" she'd sigh, her fridge now a sad archive of half-eaten yogurt cups, wilted lettuce, and bread gone stale. One evening, I stopped by and found her standing over the sink, absently nibbling on a handful of stale crackers, her eyes distant, as if the joy of food had slipped away with the people who once shared it. The sight pierced my heart. Meals are so much more than sustenance. They're a canvas for care, a love letter you write to yourself. Even if you're dining alone, make it a moment to cherish. Pull out that dusty china plate your aunt gifted you years ago, the one with the delicate floral rim you've been saving for special occasions. Light a candle, even a stubby one, and let its flicker dance across your table. Spoon a drizzle of golden honey over your morning oatmeal and savor it like it's a decadent dessert. Or better yet, invite a neighbor over for a simple bowl of soup. Nothing fancy, just warmth shared. Cook a little extra and sneak a bite to your dog, whose eager eyes remind you that joy can be found in the smallest gestures. When you treat meals as a ritual, you're not just nourishing your body. You're proclaiming to yourself, with every bite, that you are worth celebrating, worth remembering, worth the effort. 2. Don't let your TV become your best friend. I'll confess something. There was a winter not long ago when my television became the heartbeat of my home. Its constant hum filled the empty corners of my quiet house, a comforting drone that drowned out the stillness I wasn't ready to face. Old detective shows, with their predictable plots and gravel-voiced heroes, became my nightly companions. I'd sink into the couch, letting the flickering screen pull me into a world where mysteries always had answers. But one night, it hit me. I hadn't spoken to another human being in days. My TV had become a crutch, a way to avoid the silence that pressed against my thoughts. I thought of Clara, an 80-year-old woman I once met at a community center, who chuckled ruefully as she said, "My soap operas know me better than my kids do." Her words were meant as a joke, but they carried a sting of truth that lingered. The television is seductive in its ease, offering endless stories and voices to fill the void. But it's a subtle thief, quietly stealing hours that could be spent humming a half-forgotten tune, flipping through the pages of a gripping mystery novel, or picking up the phone to call an old friend whose laugh you haven't heard in years. Make your TV a treat, not a live-in roommate. Choose that one show you adore, whether it's a witty comedy or a heart-pounding drama, and savor it like a rare dessert. Then, reach for the remote and let the screen go dark. Embrace the quiet that follows. It might feel heavy at first, but it's in that stillness that you'll rediscover pieces of yourself. Your thoughts, your dreams, your voice waiting to be heard. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Don't let your front door become a fortress. Down the street from me lives Mr. Ellis, an 83-year-old man whose small house is draped in ivy, like something out of a storybook. Once, he was a regular sight in the neighborhood, tending his roses or chatting with passers-by about the weather. But after his sister, his last close companion, passed away, his world shrank to the four walls of his home. Groceries arrived at his doorstep in plastic bags. His mailbox overflowed with unopened letters, and the vibrant pulse of the world outside seemed to spin on without him. "I'm fine inside," he'd tell me over the phone, but his voice carried a hollow echo, as if he were trying to convince himself as much as me. His front door, once a welcoming threshold, had become a fortress, sealing him off from the life he used to know. Then, one crisp morning, something shifted. Mr. Ellis cracked open his door to retrieve the newspaper, and a burst of sounds flooded in: a neighbor's dog barking with unbridled joy, a child's laughter ringing from the sidewalk, the soft rustle of leaves skittering in the breeze. He stepped onto his porch, just for a moment, his slippers scuffing against the weathered wood. A jogger passed by, offering a quick wave, and Mr. Ellis's face lit up, as if a long-dormant spark had flickered back to life. That simple step reminded him of something vital. His front door is not just wood and hinges, it's a portal to the world's wonders, big and small. You don't need to venture far to feel its magic. Open your door, even just a crack, to let the morning air kiss your face or to nod at the sky's endless canvas. Wave at a neighbor, listen to the hum of life beyond your walls. You are still a part of this world, woven into its messy, beautiful tapestry. Let it see you, and let yourself be seen. For, don't say, "I'm too old for that." Picture Lila, a spirited 79-year-old who, just last year, embarked on a bold new journey, learning to play the ukulele. Her hands, etched with the wisdom of nearly 8 decades, trembled as they fumbled over the strings, producing notes that were more discordant twang than harmonious melody. Yet, her face lit up with a grin brighter than a midsummer sunrise, undeterred by the clunky chords. "I've always wanted to play," she said with a defiant sparkle in her eyes, "and I'm not dead yet." Each practice session, filled with missed notes and laughter, became a testament to her refusal to let age define her limits. Her living room, once quiet, now hums with the tentative strums of her growing skill, a reminder that it's never too late to chase a dream. Now, contrast Lila's vibrant embrace of life with my cousin Tom, who, at 70, has resigned himself to the sidelines. He dismisses hiking as too taxing, dancing as too embarrassing, and even trying a new recipe as too much effort. The phrase, "I'm too old," has become his mantra, a self-imposed sentence that locks him in a cage of his own making. It's not age that holds him back, it's fear. Fear of looking foolish, fear of failing, fear of not being as spry as he once was. But here's the truth: every misstep is a chapter in your story, every attempt a badge of courage. Whether it's planting a garden, joining a book club, learning a language, or even tackling a pottery wheel, the only thing stopping you is the belief that you're too old. Age is just a number, not a verdict. Don't let it steal your chance to grow, to surprise yourself, to rediscover the spark that makes life vivid. The world is waiting, with bated breath, for your next act, whether it's a quiet triumph or a bold leap. 5. Don't let your bedroom become your entire world. When my children moved out, the silence that descended on my home was almost palpable, like a heavy fog settling into every corner. The once lively rooms, filled with the clatter of dishes, the chatter of family dinners, and the spontaneous laughter of my kids, grew eerily quiet. Without fully realizing it, I began retreating into the sanctuary of my bedroom, transforming it into a self-contained fortress where I could shield myself from the emptiness. My nightstand became a chaotic library, with books and magazines stacked precariously, their spines worn from late-night reading. A drawer overflowed with crumpled snack wrappers, evidence of hurried meals eaten in solitude. A small electric kettle found a permanent home on a side table. Its soft hum a constant companion as I brewed countless cups of tea to warm my hands and my heart. Meanwhile, the rest of my house faded into a forgotten landscape, rooms untouched, gathering dust-like artifacts from a life that no longer felt like mine. It wasn't until one crisp morning, when I tripped over a teetering pile of magazines and stumbled into the hallway, that I realized the truth. I hadn't set foot in my living room in months. My world, once expansive and vibrant, had shrunk to the confines of 4 walls. My bedroom had become my entire universe, and with it, my life had contracted into a mere shadow of its former richness. I thought of my home as it used to be, a vibrant stage where family stories unfolded, where spills were laughed off, where every corner held a memory of love and connection. Now, it felt like a museum, preserving relics of a past I could no longer access. Your home is more than a place to rest your head. It's a living canvas, a tapestry woven with the threads of your experiences, dreams, and fleeting joys. To confine yourself to one room is to let that canvas gather dust, to let the colors of your life fade into monochrome. Break free from the bedroom's gravitational pull. Brew your morning tea in the kitchen, where the sunlight spills across the counter, and linger at the table, watching the steam curl like a dancer in the golden light. Curl up with a novel in the living room, where the shifting patterns of daylight paint the pages with warmth. Dance in the hallway, even if it's just you swaying to the creak of old floorboards or humming a tune from your youth. Open the windows and let the breeze carry the scent of the outside world into your space. Every corner of your home holds the potential for new memories. Moments of quiet joy, bursts of creativity, or simple contentment. Reclaim those spaces, spread out, and let your spirit expand to fill every inch. Your home deserves to be a living reflection of your evolving story, and your soul deserves the freedom to breathe, to wander, to rediscover the beauty in every room. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 6. Don't think routines are the enemy. My neighbor George, now 85, greets each dawn with a ritual as steady and comforting as the tides. In the soft light of early morning, he brews a pot of coffee, the rich, earthy aroma filling his small kitchen like a warm embrace. He settles into his well-worn armchair, its cushions molded to his frame, and unfolds the morning newspaper, savoring the rustle of pages as he scans the headlines. Then, with a quiet smile, he steps onto his porch to scatter crumbs for the sparrows that gather like old friends, their cheerful chirps a daily symphony. "It's my heartbeat," he told me once, his eyes crinkling with a warmth that belied his years. For George, this routine isn't a chain binding him to monotony. It's an anchor, grounding him in a world that can sometimes feel chaotic and fleeting. I think, too, of Helen, a woman I met years ago, who, at 78, polished her silverware every Sunday with a quiet, almost sacred reverence. The task wasn't about gleaming utensils. It was about marking time, a ritual that whispered, "You're here, and you'll see another week." For her, the rhythmic motion of cloth against metal was a meditation, a way to connect with the past while anchoring herself in the present. Routines, I've come to understand, are not the enemies of a vibrant life. They are the scaffolding that holds it together. They provide structure when the days feel formless, offering a framework for meaning when life feels adrift. They carve out space for joy, for reflection, for the small, seemingly inconsequential moments that, when woven together, make a day feel full and purposeful. If your routine begins to feel like a rut, don't abandon it, reimagine it. Try a new coffee blend, one with notes of caramel or citrus that wakes up your senses and makes each sip a tiny adventure. Take a different path on your morning walk, noticing the way the light catches the dew on a spiderweb or the unfamiliar flowers in a neighbor's garden. Swap an email for a handwritten letter, letting the scratch of a pen on paper reconnect you to the tactile pleasure of the moment. These small tweaks breathe life into routines, transforming them from monotonous ruts into vibrant rhythms that pulse with possibility. Routines don't dull your days. They create a foundation for joy, a quiet promise that you're still here, ready to embrace the surprises tomorrow might bring. They are the heartbeat of a life well lived, steady and strong, guiding you through the chaos with grace. 7. Don't stop seeing your reflection. For years, I avoided mirrors, unwilling to confront the lines and wrinkles that time had etched across my face. Each glance felt like a reckoning with what I'd lost: youth, vitality, the smooth features of the person I used to recognize. The mirror became a foe, a reminder of time's relentless march, and so I turned away, letting my reflection fade from my daily life. But then I met Rose, an 82-year-old with a spirit as bold and unapologetic as the bright red lipstick she applied every morning. "It makes me feel alive," she said, her voice steady with a quiet, fierce conviction as she smoothed the color across her lips. For Rose, looking in the mirror wasn't about vanity. It was about defiance, a daily declaration that she was still here, still vibrant, still worthy of her own gaze. She taught me that avoiding your reflection doesn't just dim your appearance. It dims your fire, your sense of self. When you stop looking, you start fading, not just in the mirror but in the way you move through the world, in the confidence you carry, in the light you bring to each day. So, embrace the small rituals that honor who you are, that celebrate the person you've become. Wrap yourself in that favorite scarf, the one that feels like a warm embrace. Its soft folds a reminder of your resilience. Shave with the care you'd take if you were preparing to meet an old love, savoring the ritual. The scent of the cream, the glide of the razor, the quiet focus of the moment. Pause at the mirror and meet the eyes of the person who has carried you through every triumph, every heartbreak, every quiet victory. Give them a wink, a nod, a moment of gratitude for the stories they hold. The laughter lines etched from nights spent with friends until dawn, the furrows carved by challenges overcome, the spark in your eyes that still burns bright despite the years. Your reflection isn't just a face. It's a living archive, a map of your journey, each mark a testament to a life fully lived. Honor it. Let it remind you that your story is far from over, that there are still chapters to write, moments to savor, and joys to discover. Your reflection is a call to keep showing up, to keep shining, to keep claiming your place in the world with courage and grace. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 8. Don't become a stranger to your neighbors. For as long as I can remember, Mrs. Carter, a 78-year-old widow, lived in the modest brick house next to ours. Her presence marked only by the faint glow of a lamp filtering through her perpetually drawn curtains. To those of us on the street, she seemed to embody solitude, a quiet figure who preferred her own company, her life hidden behind those heavy drapes. We respected what we assumed was her desire for privacy, rarely pausing to consider otherwise as we went about our daily routines, mowing lawns, checking mailboxes, or waving to familiar faces. But one stormy autumn evening, when a fierce windstorm tore through our small town, leaving her home dark without power, I found myself standing on her weathered porch, hesitating before knocking. When she opened the door, her frail silhouette framed by the flickering light of a handheld flashlight, her eyes widened, not with irritation, but with a fragile, almost disbelieving gratitude. "No one's visited in ages," she whispered, her voice a soft tremor that carried the weight of years spent in quiet isolation. That moment haunts me still, a piercing reminder of how effortlessly we can slip into the shadows of our communities. It's easy to convince yourself that staying quiet, keeping to your corner, is an act of kindness, sparing others the burden of your presence. But your neighborhood is more than a grid of houses and neatly trimmed hedges. It's a living, breathing mosaic of stories, experiences, and connections, and you are an irreplaceable part of it. Your wisdom, honed by decades of triumphs and trials, your simple wave to the mail carrier as they trudge through the rain, or your warm nod to the children racing their bikes down the sidewalk. These small acts are the threads that weave you into the fabric of your community. They remind your neighbors, and yourself, that you are not a ghost lingering on the edges but a vital presence, a keeper of stories and a bearer of warmth. Step onto your porch, offer a hello to the dog walker, share a memory with the young couple moving in across the street. Your neighborhood craves your voice, your perspective, your spark. You are not invisible. You are a cornerstone in the vibrant tapestry of your street. 9. Don't let memories trap you in the past. When I first stepped into Ellen's home, an 80-year-old woman with a gentle smile shadowed by sorrow, I felt as though I'd entered a time capsule. Her house was a shrine to her late son, Michael, who had passed away a decade earlier. Every surface told his story. Framed photographs captured him at every stage. Giggling as a toddler with chocolate-smeared cheeks, beaming in his high school graduation cap, serene at his wedding with a rose pinned to his lapel. His childhood toys, a well-loved teddy bear, a model train, sat untouched on dusty shelves, while his old denim jacket still hung on a hook by the front door, its sleeves stiff with time, as if he might walk in and slip it on. Sitting across from me at her kitchen table, Ellen's voice broke as she gestured to the relics surrounding us. "I can't move any of it," she said, tears tracing the deep lines of her face. "It's all I have left of him." But as we talked, surrounded by these frozen fragments of a life no longer lived, it became painfully clear that preserving every moment in amber wasn't keeping Michael close. It was anchoring Ellen to a past that kept her from living her present. Memories are sacred, a tender bridge to those we've loved and lost, but they should never become chains that bind you to a life that no longer exists. Ellen's journey toward healing was slow and delicate, but with time and quiet courage, she began to loosen her grip, not on her love for Michael, but on the need to keep his every possession as a monument to her grief. She chose a handful of cherished keepsakes, a locket with his photo nestled inside, a heartfelt letter he'd written her during college, a small wooden carving he'd made as a boy, and carefully packed away the rest. His old bedroom, once a mausoleum of untouched belongings, was transformed into a cozy reading nook, with soft cushions and warm colors, a small bookshelf filled with novels, and a window that let in streams of golden sunlight. The first time she sat there, cradling a mug of chamomile tea, she described it as feeling like she could breathe again, as if her home had been permitted to live alongside her. Memories should be held close, honored in ways that keep them alive without stifling your present. Let your home be a canvas for new moments. New laughter, new conversations, new light. Your story is not frozen in time. It's still being written, waiting for you to turn the page. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 10. Don't believe your adventure is over. Society has a way of peddling a subtle but insidious lie, that after 60, life is little more than a slow fade, a gentle winding down toward the end of the road. It's a narrative that creeps in through the cracks, whispered in the sidelong glances at family gatherings, embedded in the assumption that your best days are behind you. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Consider Henry, an 81-year-old former mechanic whose calloused hands had spent a lifetime coaxing broken engines back to life. After retirement, he stumbled upon a poetry workshop at the local library and began writing, his words raw and vivid, weaving stories of grease-stained overalls, sunsets over the garage, and the quiet ache of loss. When he read his poems aloud to his daughter, her eyes brimmed with pride, marveling at the beauty her father had carried inside him all along. Or take Maria, 76, who signed up for a pottery class on a whim and found herself laughing like a child, her hands covered in cool, slick clay as she shaped lopsided bowls that felt like small victories. Growing older isn't about grand, dramatic leaps. It's about the quiet sparks that ignite when you try something new, no matter how small. Learning a new recipe for spiced apple cake, planting a row of tulips that will bloom come spring, or simply offering a warm smile to a stranger at the grocery store, these are the moments that keep your story alive. When you buy into the lie that you're done, you risk snuffing out the dreams that still flicker within you. But you, my friend, are far from finished. You are a wildfire, waiting for the right moment to blaze with new passions, new curiosities, new joys. Your adventure isn't over. It's unfolding with every choice you make to keep chasing those sparks. So pick up that paintbrush, sign up for that dance class, or share a story with someone new. Your life is still a canvas, and there are countless colors left to add. Well, friends, we've walked through these 10 hidden traps together, from turning meals into moments of joy to keeping your front door open to the world's wonder. Living alone doesn't mean living less. It's a chance to rediscover your spark, to keep growing, to stay vibrant. I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that hit home? Maybe it's making your meals a celebration or stepping onto your porch to wave at a neighbor. Drop a comment below and share one lesson you're going to bring into your life. Your story might just inspire someone else. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's keep this conversation going. You're not alone in this, not as long as we're here, talking like old friends.